In this video, we'll talk about the Kaizer Chiefs players whose contracts are coming to an end this June, but will be given an extension by the club. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. I'm a Khosi Football Club, right? Bobby Mtaung has spoken, and when Bobby speaks, usually sometimes things happen, but sometimes things don't. But we'll take what has been happening in recent weeks. Uguti, when they say something, it usually happens. So he was asked about Khune specifically. Uguti, is Khune going to stay at the end of the season? And he says we're in discussion about that. And he also continued to say we are also talking about other players whose contracts are expiring at the end of the season. Now, let's be clear. He said we're also talking about other players, plural, which means it's not just one player on top of Khune, but it's more players over and above Khune, which means it's more than one. It's more than just Khune who they are negotiating. Uguti, how are they going to extend the contract here? Now, let's look at the 5 players whose contracts are expiring and which ones does it make sense Uguti Chiefs extend the contract here. Starting with Khune himself. So we talked about Ubvuma wanting to leave last week. Uguti, he's not pleased with sitting on the bench, and you get it. He's never been like the first choice at Chiefs, even when he takes over from Khune. When Khune comes back, then Khune goes back to the starting 11. So apparently Ubvuma is not happy with that. Bontlem is still too young. So you are thinking Uguti, at this point, Vele Khune is the person who can stay and be comfortable with being number 2 to Peterson, and would still come in and do a decent job when Peterson is injured, or maybe let's just say, God forbid, he's out of form, then Khune can always step in. So I can say Khune is the first player Vele in this list that I see staying. Then we go to the left back position. Uhlanti, his contract is also expiring this season. We have Omega Mdaga being promoted from the development at Chiefs. You have Udove, who's going to be played at left back because there are centre backs coming to play as a centre backs, which means Udove will no longer be utilized as a centre back, so he'll move to left back, which means Uhlanti, not Dove, will be competing for a position. And I think it's most likely Dove will start as a left back next season, because as we have seen in recent games, as much as Uhlanti goes forward, you can see it's taxing for him and to him to go forward and come back, go forward and come back. He tries shame, but Udove is like still fitter than Uhlanti. So I think Uhlanti will still be necessary for Chiefs next season, and I see him also staying and being given a contract extension. Guys, by the way, if you're enjoying this video and you want to see this channel grow, please like the video so that YouTube can spread it to more people like you. And while we're talking about spreading, please also subscribe, because if you subscribe, if you like, YouTube sees, oh, they like this video, and then they also spread it to more people like you. And also comment letting me know which of these players you think should be given a contract extension. Next is Eric Molomo Wandawo Mathoho and Mathoho Shem. There are new signings. There is Utitlokwe. There is giving him Simango. You can see where I'm going with this, right? There is Umjabulong Ngobu who's not playing already. There is Udube who's not playing. There is Udove who's playing. There is Ukunika. There is Ungezana. 7 defenders ahead of him right now, and he's not playing. So with the addition of the signings, I don't think Mathoho will get any game time going forward. So I think Mathoho in this list is that one player who's actually going to go and play. As I said yesterday, is going to be playing for Its Galaxy next season, because they're already snooping around and checking with, hey Mathoho, how much money do you want? Because then they won't be paying anything, and they will use Mathoho actually to replace Ukiven Msimango. So in a way, as much as we are losing, as much as we are getting Ukiven Msimango and they are losing him, they will still replace him with a decent center back who can fit Its Galaxy, because as we have established, Mathoho is not finished. He can still go and play very well in any other team in the PSL except Chiefs, Pirates and Sundowns. But when you take him to Super Sport, he will fit like a glove. If you take him to other teams, he will fit. It's just that those 3 teams right now, they're playing at a high level that he would no longer be able to fit in. So I think Mathoho is definitely going to leave Chiefs. Which leads me to this very, very interesting one, right? This one, I think it's interesting. And who am I talking about here? I am talking about Uphathu Chetso Nange. Unange indaba yakhe is interesting. In a very, yabona manje, I'm still thinking, I scripted this. Uguti, the problem that we've seen with Unange is that he struggles with the style of play here Chiefs since Uzwan has been coach. And now has been the coach. And now there's also this thing, which is he's been having injuries throughout the season. And when he comes back, he doesn't really fit. And it's just a struggle. However, if you think about it, if the Chiefs ends up not signing a defensive midfield, they might be in a situation where they think, ish, you know what, we might have to keep Unange because we might have to convert him and make him a defensive midfielder. It could also be a strategic thing that they would use. They could keep Unange and give him a contract extension, knowing Uguti Stellenbosch wants Unange to come and be their player. And then they can use Unange for a swap deal for Mteto, right? Because Stellenbosch does not want to sell Mteto or any of their players. But if we say now Nange will giving you a like-for-like, sort of a like-for-like player, here's Nange, give us Mteto, will pay additional money on top of that. And then it's a win-win because you are losing a player, but you're also replacing a player and you are getting money on top of that. And if you think about it also, there is this thing, Yoguti, Stellenbosch also had Unange before play for them. So he's a player who will be used to playing for the team. And if the Chiefs are offering him as a swap deal, if they extend the contract, then it kind of sweetens the deal. But I think this is just complicated. I'm mentioning this because if the Chiefs keeps Unange and Unange ends up going to Super Sport and then the Chiefs want Mteto, but they can't get Mteto. Now the problem is, how do we get Mteto in a way that will sweeten a deal and kind of lower the price, because I'm sure it'll be expensive. So this would be one of the ways that they can do it. I know there are other players that can be included in those swap deals, but this thing, Nange, could also be that thing that could be fit in that situation. I do think it's a long shot, and I think Unange will just end up leaving Chiefs on a free, and then we can use other players for a swap deal if we think that could work for us. The other player is Khama Billiat. Unange will go. The other player is Khama Billiat, and the problem that we have right now in the position that Khama Billiat is playing, not a winger. Iskatska Khama as a winger is gone, has passed long time ago because of injuries and the fact that you need to run up and down if you are playing down the wing. So now he's playing as a center forward. And you can see right now Uguti Utupri was playing that position, but it can be played as a winger, which he was being played as until Caleb started underperforming. So what is happening right now is that if the Chiefs are prioritizing to spend a lot of money on a defensive midfielder, then that means we might not have money for a striker, which means Ukama staying benefits us in that regard. And also Utuba, you can see Utuzwan is still trying to protect him and not play him that much. As such, I see Uguti to try and strengthen the team and to keep and add some experience in the team. You can see Ukama staying as well at Kaizer Chiefs. Which of the 5 players that I mentioned do you think Chiefs should give an extension? Let me know down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next video. And until next time, remember, equals Alpelumo.